Hello guys, sorry, a wee bit late there. I've just been watching the Tinder Strangler on Fannnny Pants Down. Mental, absolute mental, absolute crazy. So I've got a wee bit of information, guys, but I've been kind of sworn to secrecy on a few uh, names. So I need to watch what I'm saying. Anyway, as you know, I was visiting countries, and as I mentioned the other night, they were on a live. There was a certain fight meant to take place between a bacon and another bacon who was in the Philippines at the time. It was before he got arrested. Anyway, without commenting on it at the time, and I've never really commented on it. Anyway, the fight was taking place in Thailand, and people were watching from afar and were watching quite closely, some closer than others, if you get me. But anyway, I'd made kind of I was speaking to somebody who was in another country, and he kind of fell out with this bacon at this point, and that was the kind of first time I'd spoken to him, and he kind of fell out with him, and yeah, the Tinder strangler, Paul Flaherty. But anyway, cut a long story short, uh, people were watching it closer than others, and if the fight was going to happen, it was going to be kind of two birds with one stone. You have to be very careful in these countries. You have to understand the law, and some things you need to have in your pocket. Does that make sense? You know, things can be. It's no like Britain. It's if you've got a couple of quid, you don't need an awful lot of money. But if you've got a couple of quid, anything can be bought, including your freedom. Uh, the corruption level is massive. Corruption levels massive. It's like if you want to be the head of police, you have to buy yourself in. So if you've got somebody with a lot of money behind you, you can actually buy somebody in to be the head of police in some of these countries. It's crazy, but that's how they work. So anyway, the fight, as everybody was watching it between the two bacons, didn't happen, and some was closer than you would ever believe. Like maybe 50 minutes in traffic, or 15, 20 minutes on a motorbike. If you understand what I mean. Traffic's really chaotic in these countries. But anyway, by the by, sometimes you think, okay, you're living in that country, you fell out with that person, but get this fight happening, and then all of a sudden, the one for Ireland, his visa was rejected, and I kind of thought it was a bit strange back then, but just kind of kept them thoughts to myself. As you know, it's easy to have conspiracies going about. I wasn't involved in any of the conspiracies. I don't believe in that level. But anyway, Northumbria police uh, employed as a police informer a convicted child. I'm not going to say the word because it hits the algorithm really bad. It was a convicted child in 2017, and he was allowed to go out and carry out another two sexual assaults whilst being convicted child. He was paid just under £10,000 as a police informer. Anybody can Google this. Just put in convicted child, Northumbria police informer, and you'll get the story there. There was a big, the commission and everyone was get pulled on it because why was a convicted child paid just under £10,000 to go out and collect information, and I believe that the information that they got from the child who was allowed to go out and carry out further sexual assaults, they never used any of his information gathered in court. So when there was a big review into it and what had happened, a couple of police sergeants, detective inspectors, whatever, come out and said that if they had to use that technique again, they would use it. Even though they were under heavy scrutiny at the time, they said that they said that the impact on it was a success, and if they had to do that technique again, they would. But the guy also stating it at the commission's review stated that it came from a higher power than him, so he was just put out there as a scapegoat that day for the news. There's actually a television report on it as well. As I said, there was a public outcry about it. Anyway, I'm just watching Paddy Conroy there, and Paddy Conroy is defending. He'll come out and say, "I'm not defending Decca Heggie," but he is defending Decca Heggie. He's trying to get the shadow bacon, Paul Flaherty, the Tinder strangler, 5 years for sexual assault. The rape conviction didn't stand. He took it to the appeal courts and lost. His family believed he was innocent at the time and spent a lot of their money, the family to inheritance, etc., and he lost. So what I'm getting to here, without saying too much. Anyway, so we know there was a convicted child used in Northumbria, and he was allowed to carry out another 2 sexual assaults, and they didn't use any of the evidence they gathered in any court proceedings, but they did see it as a success. So we do know the police use people who have got rape, whatever convictions as police informers, because these people need protection. And the people who will go out and say that I'm working for Met Police and that, do you really think if I was working for Met Police and all these things, guys, I'd be flinging like the crook of Windy Nook under the bus? Do you really think that? Even after, like I treated him as a friend, I thought he treated me as a friend, I would never have flung him under the bus in a million years. I'd have been probably the person who was capable of swinging it back round and making it look like that wasn't the case, but he never appeared the other night there, so it looks very much like the case. He tried to put me under a bus with some of the things he was wanting me to say, and a friend doesn't do that to a friend, no matter what. Doesn't happen. So we'll just put a big full stop to what everything I just said there, and I'll speak in riddles here. But anyway, a good source tells us that 2 people on a podcast tonight, if you want to call it that, and one of them, you know how it was said the crook was working with Irish police on behalf of the Met. Now, I don't know if that's true or no, you can't prove a positive, but nobody's got to come out here and defend himself and take up and get any black and whites where you can produce it and prove yourself. Not that person. But it's came to me in good light that the person for Ireland is doing the exact same thing, and he's got the exact same cover, and he's got and this is maybe why, because I couldn't work out why an old school villain would have somebody who was convicted, done 5 years, no names mentioned, to then have him won numerous times. So I'll leave that all food for thought with you, because I know the people that Paddy's spokesperson for wouldn't like what's happening right now. Some people say that they've abandoned them, but until one of them makes a video, makes it formal, I don't believe it for a second. And I'll tell you why. So I'm not going to mention I'll put the Freeman stew in it because it does concern them. They have been linked to Paddy, and I know for a fact the things that you might not be aware of, they've used him as a spokesperson. Maybe not the Freemans themselves directly, but certainly Davy Hislop definitely 100% has used Paddy as a mouthpiece. And at the end of the day, I've got people messaging me saying, "Oh, they've dropped him, they've dropped Paddy, they don't want nothing to do with him." Well, that's fine, but until I see proof of it, I'm not going to stop. Because at the end of the day, they're quite happy for Paddy to go in there and spout shite about Donna and all the rest of it, they're quite happy with that. So they also have to be happy with what comes in return for that. But the difference between me and Paddy is I'm putting this closer to the truth as I know it out there. And that's the difference between me and Paddy. They're quite happy for Paddy to tell lies about people. Well, that's not what's happening here. The big question is, at the end of the day, did a certain police force create a fake tough war with using the likes of paranoid androids like Paddy Conroy? And I really think that's maybe the case, to be honest. Maybe not now, but certainly back then, it looks like there was a fake tough war created and manipulated. And it's, you have to ask yourself, why did Paddy Conroy disappear off the internet for all the years to return back on? And the first time I ever heard anybody mentioning having YouTube was, believe it or not, was Paddy Conroy. But he's come out there tonight. He's defending. I mean, he's been on there for what? 3 hours? He's been on there for over 3 hours. I think the shadow baking come on about 8:30. Yeah, so nearly 2.5 hours of shadow baking. Now, I'm not going to be a horrible bastard. Like, if that shadow baking wasn't a baking, he'd actually be quite an interesting guy, funny guy, but he is where he is. He's took it to the appeal court, and he's lost at the appeal court. He couldn't get his conviction overturned. He's now taking the prisoner. He took the prison authorities to court because he got beat up in prison. But anyway, you have to ask yourself, guys. I'm going to leave it to you to ask yourself, why has Paddy Conroy got the Tinder Strangler on there, knowing fine what he's been done with, knowing fine that he lost at the appeal court? How can somebody go to the appeal court again and challenge the appeal court when they've already lost at the appeal court? It's like the evidence. I mean, the girl ran out in the street naked. The rape charge didn't stand, but he get 5 year 2 month, 5 year 4 month for well, he was called the strangler, wasn't he? For sexual assault, basically. If he'd got a guilty on the rape charge, he'd have been looking at 10, 15, and he took it to appeal court, and he was never going to win. Probably if his family never had money, the rape charge would have probably have stood. He probably had a right good lawyer, and he still couldn't get it overturned when he took it to the appeal courts. David McIntyre, Bob's over feather. But I just want to lay that with you. You have to ask yourself, it was rumoured that the crook was meeting Irish police working for the Met. And then all of a sudden we've got an Irish person popping up when somebody that I know has given information to the police in the past, i.e. Paddy Conroy. And you have to ask yourself, why has he got him there? Why has he got him on over and over again? It's no just for numbers, guys. He's only got 400 or something in his chat tonight. He gets more than that just talking shit with Bill, with Tootsie up on the table. So you have to ask yourself why he keeps ignoring the fact that he is convicted. He had in over 5 years, and now he's there trying to promote the shadow baking to get a fight with Dickie Higgy. You have to ask yourself, why is he doing it? Why? They're talking all the night about all sorts of shite. Like, I'm going to say the shadow baking's more sense and logical thinking than Paddy Conroy. Just with watching that tonight. As I say, it's a shame he is what he is, because he's actually quite, he would be quite a funny guy. But every time you laugh at him, you have to remember his conviction. And if you start leaving, YouTube just gets swamped with their convictions. It's just got to carry on regardless, because they'll just birds of a feather flock together. As who said that there? Hello, Rob. How you doing, mate? Loch Lomond Pirate. Sorry, guys, I'm ignoring the chat here. Loch Lomond Pirate. I heard you on Video Craig's was it last night? Funny guy. Loch Lomond Pirate he's been watching this YouTube for years, right? But he's only recently got a smart TV, because he'd been shouting at the TV for years, but he got a smart TV, and he was been shouting at it, and he said he was in the rabbit hole, so he went out and bought a laptop so he could make a an account so he could actually come out and comment. So big up the Loch Lomond Pirate. Stray Cabbage, that's Ronan there. Possible NGO agents. Yes, exactly, Ronan. As I say, I'm kind of sworn to wee bits. I was told wee bits and pieces, and I can't just come out there and say it because I'm fucking stirring the hornet's nest, isn't I? So I'm just letting you. I just wanted to point that out. If everybody's asking why he's ignoring, why he's because they're both getting handled. But they'll come out and say, I'm being handled. I'd never heard of handlers until they started shouting, Paddy started shouting about fucking handlers. I'd never heard it, guys. But anyway, how did I do this? I'm going to put this. A minute. Invite. Right, last week I had to ask somebody how to do this. Oh, fucking brutal. So copy. Right, so it's copied. Okay. Come in here and press, what is it again? Is it CL Shift CL? What is it? Copy paste. Okay. Loch Lomond Pirate. I was laughing at you in video, Craig's mate. Scottish lad as well. Get spam fingers. How many feeder files can Paddy fit in the shed? Well, interesting. I will say, right, I don't like the guy and he doesn't like me. So far, with a clean record that's been checked, is Paul Ellis. That's the only person that I know it's been. The only reason I know it's because Maria Howarth done 2 checks. Loch Lomond Pirate. For fuck's sake, I'm going on a live next week. I've got years worth of shouting to talk about. It's brain damage, isn't it? But who else has been watching that? I mean, he's still fucking live now. Shadow Bacon's even fed up him and left him. But there's something happened in Thailand, and it left a wee seed in my head, and I'm like, why did that just, as soon as it was talking, and there was no speaking on phones or anything. There was absolutely no conversations about this on phones, none. There was no computers on about, nothing. And the only person I said to was the person who fell out with, 2 birds with 1 stone. And then the next thing, the Shadow Bacon wasn't getting his visa fucking passed. It was like, and that's where I started. And I thought, you know what, I've got to jump on that because you need something to back it up. And something to back it up is what I've waited on. It's getting a wee bit of information today. And that'll answer all your questions. Why that Shadow Bacon's sitting on there with Paddy Conroy. 1 known police grass, i.e. Paddy Conroy. He's a grass. He went and stopped me in at Hexham for a non-crime and recorded it live, so I've every right to call him a grass. He sacrificed his life with Davy Glover to get a reduced sentence. He should get 20 to 25 years. He said on his live the night he got 11 and he should have got 20 to 25. What did they give? An information to get that? Ned Kelly. Paddy's a Walter Mitty. My mate's dad from London, who he mentioned, said he wouldn't come out his cell when he was on the wing. True. That's a true story. He actually went down into the solitary, not because he was a bad lad or naughty lad, because he couldn't deal with mainstream prison. And that's a fucking fact, guys. That is a fact. He goes on about meeting Paul Ferris twice and such and such with Rab Crullers. I'm not saying Paddy never met Rab Crullers, yeah, and I'm not saying that Rab Crullers didn't like Paddy back then, but I can guarantee you now Rab Crullers would turn in his fucking grave. Paul Ferris never met Paddy Conroy, and that the only person I know that came out his own mouth was Paul Ferris when Paddy kept saying, I met Paul Ferris, blah, blah, blah. Paul Ferris has never met him. Paul Ferris put a tweet up about it about 2 years ago, saying I've never met him. I don't know what he's talking about. Rab Crullers, all Rab Crullers become his fucking grave, knowing exactly what Paddy's about. Big Bully, how you doing, mate? Sorry, I just see you there in the chat. Big Bully, Big Bully, Big Bully. Mate, I can't get his fucking mouse to go up. Would you putting it to the cat? Would you getting a cat and getting this fucking mouse up? There's Big Bully there. He goes on about beating John Henry Sayers in jail. It's a fucking lie. It's been confirmed with 2 people. And it was in Whitemore. At the reception, there's a toilet beside the reception. And they get knocked clean out. In the chin, bingo. But he comes out with this fucking fantasy. You know, it's like he tells a wee bit of a story and then he goes into dream world of what he wanted that fucking dream to finish like. But in reality, he get knocked spark out. He's everybody's hiding his shed. He's saying the night that I got the registration some of his visitors' cars and reported them to the post. I haven't got a fucking clue what cars he's even talking about, never mind registrations. The only thing I've seen is him getting pictures with folk at the gate in Egg Chapel, getting in his shed there, spitting out shite. You know, Egg Chapel, you're living a very sheltered life, aren't you? A very sheltered and lonely life now. And it's all because you went out in that shed and other things that someone got to mention right now. But you know, Davey, and I know why you're living a very sheltered life now. The big boom, the big boom's over, isn't it? Now you're getting a wee bit of what you put to other people, and that's called karma, swings and roundabouts in life. People say I'm in hiding. I had over 100 odd malicious calls made about me to the police. You think I'm going to put my next address out there for you fucking idiots? And the likes of Conroy and Decca Heggie phone the police and whoever's helping them in the background to make malicious calls about me. I think I'll fucking box clever for you and Davey. But anyway, until you make a video, Egg Chapel, and say you have dropped Paddy Conroy and the Freemans have dropped him, they're no longer using him as a spokesperson, the show must go on. I've started, so I'll finish. Stuarty boy, what's happening here? I smoked weed for around 20 years until I watched my first and only Conroy live. I quit the very next day. Well, mate, honestly, too much dope because it's only drug I believe he takes. Even though I get told the boys, as he said, up the boys. I get told one of them sent an ounce of herbal out and it was mixed with spice. But I don't know how true that was, but I get told that there's more than one person said that, and that was about a year ago. And if you think about it, he was going kind of mad in the videos, wasn't he, talking more shite than he normally talks shite. And I get told they'd mixed it with spice. Fuck that spice, man. I've took every drug I can think of, except all that shite. And it's called legal. I don't want to know because it's got a fucking smell about it. The worst drugs is the fucking pharmaceutical drugs. Get spammed, that's what it says. Get spammed. Get sent tens of thousands appealing against his conviction. The police didn't take a penny off him. Exactly. He's still talking shite. I mean, that's fake. But somebody's on there and said Ginger's live, so he's probably got to. If I was to go in here live to 2 in the morning, he'll be sitting there. He'll be putting a night shift in. Wait to see what the chat's saying. Oh, sorry, Loch Lomond Pirate. You've not worked out how to click on the links yet, have you? To come into the live. Because it was a phone call. That's how you done it, wasn't it? You phoned in Video Craig. Wait to see it. He's quite funny, actually. He says, I heard it was Egg Chapel was the man that opened the Wonka experience in Glasgow that went viral. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. You see when he's been making all these videos chasing people about South Shields and all the rest of it, he'll show it like hey, fucking, like he's himself. But what he's not showing you is 4 or 5 carloads of people that can't write nor read behind him. That's what he's not showing you. But all of a sudden, these people are like, woof, giving a fucking wide berth. because he is in a way. And you know what? I feel a wee bit sorry for him, and I fucking shouldn't. But I do feel a wee bit because he is an oddity, isn't he? He's like a little oddity. He's like, uh, he's no made for the jail. He's definitely no made for the jail. Uh, could you imagine him? Could you imagine him getting 20 years or something? And you know yourself, guys. Yeah, he's no made for the jail. When they put up that video, I come out the coffin, frightening video Craig, and it worked. Video Craig shot himself. And I don't blame him, Ken. At the end of the day, I don't know how many folk was there. Probably a couple, because these fuckers can't do nothing themselves. Anyway, when they come out the coffin, that was the day I took a real dis. As much as I laughed at it, because if it wasn't just if it was just a prank and it was funny, but it was a prank with intentions of causing harm. But it was funny seeing him come out the coffin with the fucking patch with a pair of swimming goggles. But I've never seen swimming goggles stretch so much in my life. It was like he obviously couldn't get a fucking. He should have just not his daddy there and he'd have gave him an eye patch. But he couldn't have obviously got eye patches, so he's made one out of swimming goggles and a bit of fanny pad. And it was funny. But the intention was to scare off Fiddle Craig. But I mean, Davey, I know you'll be watching this at some point. I mean, I think it's you kind of reached out to us through somebody else there last week, and then I get told you were fucking trying to play a wee flyman, so I've just come straight back in on you, Egg Chapel. Oompa loompa dumpity dee. Egg Chapel. And there's a lot I could say, guys, right? But basically, Egg Chapel got a Johnny one for a bird. But the sad thing was, it all started because a story was fucking started 30 years ago with a jealous old grass from Newcastle who was disowned by his family. And the jealous old grass, there was a murder, and the jealous old grass told a mentally ill guy who he was friends with and who he was brought up with and lived with for 5 years that somebody had been shagging his wife and the kids weren't his. And he managed to turn that mentally ill, who was a police informer, by the way, he managed to turn him round to changing his police statement from the Patch's brother to one of the family he was most jealous of, i.e. the Sayers. And then Egg Chapel got a Johnny one for one of the daughters of a certain female. All because a lie started 30 years ago. But the man in the shed pissed on these seeds that he planted. He's been pissing on them for 30 years rather than feeding them with water and fertilizer. He's been pissing on them for 30 years. It'll come out someday. He goes on about his wife's not. He's never been married once. It's worth twice. He couldn't clear his name over the child abuse images. He's not done or no passed any lie detector test for it. It's a fact. That's how he had to go to Hexham Police and report me for a non-crime, because anything else I've said about him has been true. If it hadn't been, he'd have put me right in the dock where he put Stephen Sayers, and that's a fucking fact. The problem is, when he put Stephen Sayers in the dock, Stephen Sayers didn't know the exact facts about it. He knew like 3/4 of that story was true, and it was a wee bit where he could get that. That's why he managed to put Stephen Sayers in the dock. He'll no manage that with me. He'll no get me in the dock, because we know now. We knew then, but we know now. Stephen Sayers wouldn't have been in the dock either. That right, Paddy? 2 seconds, guys. I've just had a call. 2 seconds. I'm just taking this call. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. back. I was actually just, it was a wee call there I had just saying, just watch. Watch what I'm saying. Because again, I don't like to stir the hornet's nest. But I just wanted to point that out. I kept wondering why a certain bacon for Ireland wouldn't get in this. Can you like all the rest of try to grow? He wants all these so-called trolls, but when they come in, they'll go after everybody else. But yeah, he's on the other night. He's obviously watching what I say, listening, because he knew enough to say very little on that night. And I thought to myself, So yeah, it just confirmed what I'd been hinted at, and that's enough for me. Has anybody actually seen any real pictures of this Tinder strangler? I know the news reports are out there. I know the the appeal which he lost. I know that's all readable. Everything's there in black and white. You can go and check it up. But has anybody actually seen a picture of him? Of the Tinder strangler in the newspapers, I mean. Has anybody actually seen a picture of him? Ronan will be watching this. Can anybody confirm to me that they've seen pictures of Flaherty, the Tinder strangler, along with the newspaper items? Big Billy. Hello, James McFarlane. You all right, mate? Big Billy. I read that appeal rejection about him, John. Has anybody seen any pictures attached to the news? Any pictures at all? Because I can't find any pictures attached to any of the news articles of the Tinder strangler. But no pictures. Shadow said he likes men as well. He loves the male flute. Mate. Well, Paddy can't take his fucking eyes off, or his eye off Bill's arse. Decca Heggie loves a bit of Roxy. And the Tinder strangler, yeah, nothing would surprise me. But each to their own, you know what I mean? Each to their own. I've nothing against gay people. It's the fucking closet ones. Spring it on you. I've got something against. I've nothing against people that just come and say, oh, I'm gay. What you got to do about it? Okay. But it's the closet ones I don't like. Man flip. So nobody in the chat here. I'm streaming it across the two channels, only 81 people or something in at this time of night. But there's nobody can actually send me to a picture of the Tinder strangler attached to news articles. No. Nobody. Desmond Tutu. Oh, mate. I don't know if I want to get down this road. We've got flutes. White flutes, black flutes. 3-piece flutes. Okay, no. What's that? Sorry. Fuck's sake, I'm trying to get this comment up. True story, and Decca cut him off when Shadow fancied him. Oh, mate, you've been dying to get a fucking smart TV in. You must be fucking hating this computer now. You've been doing that rabbit hole, haven't you? I didn't know that. I did see the Shadow Bacon nearly getting leathered at the bar in Phuket. That was interesting. He went in there as a big hard man, didn't he? And he came out with his tail between his legs. And that old guy fucking pulled that sheefoot who's got a ram in him. That sorted him out, didn't it? Deco. I definitely. I wouldn't say full blown, but he's certainly over the fucking border anyway. That's for sure. Yeah. Just man up. How you getting on, mate? You all right? Just man up. You maybe know. I watch your channel. You can pay attention to what's happening. Can anybody direct me to a picture that is attached to the Tinder Strangler story? Has anybody out there ever seen a picture? And what I'm getting at here, guys, is people can come out and say, I'm such and such, yeah. But as I say, you can tell wee bits and pieces that is the Irish police are using different techniques for the Metropolitan Police is a wee bit, and again, it's quite funny if that's what's happening. Maybe that's why you'll no mention us. I don't know. What's this? The Russian guy was going to chop him. He loved the foot also. He shit so, didn't he? Aye, but listen, that's how quickly it turns in these places. You have to fucking keep your wits about you and keep your opinion to yourself. It's a different country, different rules for different fools. Who's this? Ricky Freemonk. Would you like to do a live with me? Don't know you, mate. Do you know that PD doorstep to bacon? Yes, Stuart. Aye, PD told us. So he did a couple of days after it happened. But again, like, everybody's heard the story, everybody's read the story, everybody's seen the appeal, but nobody can fucking pick me with a picture of him attached to that actual story. I can't find that one single image of him. I'm not saying they're not there. I would just like somebody to help me. Loch Lomond Pirate. Aye, Des, he was going to chop him up. He was, mate. He was going to get chopped up. And it happens very quickly. Ned Kelly, I heard there's a warrant out for Bill for receiving swollen goods after Paddy gave him up. Swollen goods or stolen goods? More likely get fucking done for swollen goods. Where's Tootsie, guys? Tootsie's meant to be in Gumtree. Okay, nuts. Some of these comments. Think they are going to start up flute band. Whistle neat snarls flutes. Dear. Wait a minute. Wait till I laugh. Wait till I fucking put a shit on me. 2 seconds.
They're voting President America to take it. He said that the new president is taken to this smoke-filled room with white men and cowboy hats smoking cigars. They pull down a projector and they just show the JFK shooting to every new president. So every new president, these rich men.
Hang on, wait a minute.
So there is money to go to them, but they don't share it out or some shit. Keep it for themselves. Yeah, the presidents, all of them. It's fucking corrupt as fuck, man. Every country's corrupt, but I reckon the Africans are the fucking worst. That's why people have first world problems over here giving out, man. Fuck me, we have it easier. That's half the problem.
Hang on, guys, I don't want to get into that shit too much.
And he can't get any traction. So where do you want to be? Do you want to be in the limelight with all the hate and the trolls, or do you want to be fucking nowhere where nobody gives a shit, nobody's listening to you? People will take the trolls all day long, and that's what you got to realize. It doesn't matter if your trolling is 10 times more than the follow controversy. Yeah, I'm saying, oh, you only want a certain amount of trolling. Oh, no. If you're in this fucking game, which every one of us is in, it's a game. It doesn't matter if your trolling is 2 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. It's the same shit. So we're all in the game. Every YouTuber, anyone that subscribes to a TikTok channel, a fucking Instagram, it's all a fucking game, and it's all out on the table for you to be attacked. It's a sad world, but that's fucking the world we're in. Bring it on.
So there you go. It's a game. It's a game to him, and he's not clever enough to think of a game. If he's that person who was convicted of that and lost at the appeal court, he's not clever enough, to think of this game for himself. No chance in a fucking million years. Because if that was the case, he wouldn't have tried to strangle a fucking bird and get done with sexual assault, and the rape charge fell, and get over 5 years for it if he was clever enough.
Fuck. I actually need to get more. They've gone, Paddy, ever since I come on your show, my channel's gone down the drain. I'm getting no views. It's a lot of bollocks.
There you go. Since you're on to Fannnny Pants DOWN fucking lives, his channels went down the drain. You have to ask yourself. So what are they playing at? You've got Paddy Conroy out there for about 8 months, 9 months, saying that Tony Bird shit was this, that, and the next thing, which I believe. But then in the next week, when it wasn't going to suit him, he's quite happy to back Tony Bird shit up. A man, he said he's got 3 child, and he's wanting to back him up to put Maria Howarth in court. That's fucked up. Now, I don't know what registration he's talking about, and I've never seen any cars visiting him. I've never seen any cars to get any registrations whatsoever. Wouldn't be fucking interested. Fucking bad enough looking after my own registrations, never mind other fucking people's. So I wouldn't be interested for a start. So him saying that people were out just to get a picture taken with him, he's nuts. He went on for about 3 hours, I think. I went to listen a wee bit more.
No, it's because your controversy is starting to leave you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because you're starting to see this now there, and what is there is all day, he says, she says, so you, them are now only full of for the controversy.
And then when they're looking into me as well, they're listening to every word I'm saying. We're going to trip them up here, we're going to get them. I'm just myself.
I agree, that's what they're looking into. Only the things that you've heard there, explains enough. Yeah. And that's a situation. Take it which way you want. And what can they do after that? What can they do after you've explained the situation? What can anybody do after that? Fucking nothing. Nothing. They can't get nothing more out of you.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, that's where you got to deal with these fucking trolls. Point the facts out. This is the script. And that's it, man. Didn't feed them anything. Didn't give them anything more. But they don't know. Because they'll twist it, turn it. Do not feed the trolls anything. And just deal with them that way and fuck off. What can I do about it after you've explained?
Yeah.
But what you have explained, the more people that tune in and see that what your explanation is, the more the controversy is leaving you. They think, you've got to be fair here. How can you believe one without the other? Because that's what they're doing. They believe in somebody who's not even on the internet, who they're living at, who's not even on the internet, and that it's all turned against you, who is fronting it, facing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is social media. People like controversy. They like to troll people because it gets followers. For whatever reason, people like to tune into it.
There is 2 ways of gaining fans and controversy. The negative side is the easiest way, but then if you're affecting people with positive stuff, so positive stuff does get. There is, funny enough, Paddy, there is channels out there in the world and they're just pure positivity and they do get fucking traction. So it is an angle I have to look at now. Like,
they're probably allowed to do it because they're not getting fucking trolled. Do you know what I mean? When you're getting trolled, I've been through, man, when you're getting trolled, you're forever fucking explaining and fighting off fucking allegations, man. And then you kind of get on with what you're good at or what you want to do. Can you cover the fucking trolling?
Yeah.
So, that's what I think anyway.
Yeah, I think you just have to go, you have to be, if you're making, like, nobody's really cleaning up in this area. Like, nobody's cleaning up. Like, Decade would be doing the most views, would he? Like, because he does a lot of views, videos. Like, nobody's cleaning up.
Decker used to put it through. Decker, I think if he'd never gotten on stuff, I must think up for him, yeah. He used to come up with some good ideas.
No, but you're Paddy. You're sticking up for him, and at every opportunity, you fucking dirty old fucking grass.
Putting good content together on his very first channel, the one I went on, the one that got closed down. You used to think he was branching out into all sorts of things. He was doing good.
Yeah. He comes across professional, you know.
That side of it, because he's into acting and all that, filming and that, he's into that side. So he fetches that into his YouTube, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, and if everyone, when I dealt with Deccan, besides yourself, Paddy, of course, he was the most easiest to deal with. You know, he's relatable as in conversation-wise. And I was talking on the phone.
He's relatable in conversation-wise. Okay.
Deccan, like, he talked to the fucker, do you know what I mean? With a little bit of a back and forth with Diddy, Danny, through the Instagram, I could tell this fella's a fucking piece of shit up his own fucking hole. I do not like him. Like, or really up his own hole, Danny Christie, like arsehole. Venice isn't the worst either. I think he lets it get the better of him. YouTube, he really, like, Venice, I feel a bit sorry for Paul Venice. It really affects him. Like, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He will tell you it's affecting him, his mental health. So he's not, I feel a bit sorry for Venice.
I could see it. There's a listen against Hollywood, isn't it? Just never would like to admit it.
Thank you, Paddy. It's nice to see that it's getting to you. It nearly is like to admit it. That's because you're living a big dirty lie, Paddy. That's because you couldn't clear your name in court. That's because the court went in Maureen's favour. And that's because the reason you never got to see your kids. Because the court deemed you a risk to your own children. That's the truth, Paddy. That you will not take to Hexham Police Station or Northumbria Police, because there's fuck all you can do about the truth. Eh? What else I got to say, guys? You notice how they're right up each other's bacons? I mean, Paddy would be just as well putting shadow bacon in his pipe and smoking his arse.
Public domain, all you want in that public domain is positive things about you. You don't want fucking shit out there, do you? Even having to deal with it. So it fetches negativity. Like, isn't it? Even though it's not media. It's not just me, it's everybody. Nobody wants it. That's why I always say, when I go to these trolls' doors or who's this, if they are trolling, they get their windows smashed and whatnot. It's our own fault. If not.
But you said that about the single mothers, Paddy, back in the day when you were taking their Monday books off them and they pay double bubble. If they didn't pay you double bubble and their windows went in and their wee children sitting kicking about the living room, you said it was their own fault back then. So what are you trying to say, Paddy? Are you encouraging violence? Are you trying to incite more violence, Paddy? We know you're a grass. We know you sacrificed your life. We know that there was child abuse images in your computer. You couldn't clear your name. We know the court went in Maureen's favour. We know the court deemed you a risk to your children, and everything that you've said and you've been responsible for, you try and reflect it on others. True or false, Paddy?
Not doing trolling people, like the day, because plenty of them fucking out there, even his little channels.
He made over fucking 600 videos calling Stephen Sayers and other people grassies and nonces and all the rest of it. That's what you call a troll. Inciting violence on people. That's what you call a troll. Spreading lies about people. That's what you call a troll. Put that in your fucking documentary, Paddy. That's what you call a troll, guys. People that go out and spread lies about people and incite violence to them. We're spreading lies and that. That's what you call a real life troll. And this man who, now people say, right, oh, Stephen Sayers ended up in court, Paddy Conroy made a 5-page statement, Stephen Sayers launched him off. That's not the truth. That's Paddy's truth. But the facts are, Paddy put a thing out on Facebook, people clocked onto it. The people that clocked onto it, Paddy'd been shouting them out for years before it, calling them nonces and grasses and super grasses and fucking Illuminati, everything you can think of, he's been calling it for years on Facebook to these people. And then he puts a Facebook post out saying, spam arrived in my in the home computer 15 times. It went to court. Stephen Sayers got a grip of that, put it out there, but there was like 80% of the truth. The words Paddy Conroy said was the truth. The spam, as he calls it, the child images, I call it, abuse. Because, let's face it, if it's any of your fucking kids, it would be abuse. It's all right, because nobody wants to believe the fact that, oh, it was only a bit of spam. It's all right. But if it was your fucking kids, you wouldn't be saying that, would you? And that's the difference here. And this is why he disappeared off the internet for years. It's because he knew he'd fucked up.
There's loads of them trolling, different levels of trolling, but some of them just follow people that put negative stuff with them, different of these channels.
And that's what people that have their faces, the trolls that let them know who they are, they must be the stupidest people in the world. Then people have got no sympathy for what fucking whatever happens to them, for trolling people. And not even in that way. I would listen to me. Daddy, these fuckers, I don't know what they're up to, but that's their life. They get up in the morning, they get on the internet and they say, which cunt are we gonna fuck? We ring that fella's workplace. See, they've got an audience there for the first time in their life. They've got an audience. And it's how he goes.
Good now.
It's not them. It's lots of characters on there, some good ones. But see, the dark side, folks. These cunts. The dark side.
You are the fucking dark side. You are the dark side.
The gang of them. You had Humbles at the top. Then he had Danny Crispy. And,
I swear, if the skull windows were getting broken tonight, I'd get the fucking blame it.
Tony Birdshit. There's his two lieutenants.
Tony Birdshit that you put as head of the Child Protection Unit, Patrick. Don't forget this, people. This is the difference between YouTube and Facebook, Patrick. Facebook, you can just take away, and if anybody thinks that you can just make it disappear. This is the difference, Patrick. You're on YouTube for the fucking rest of your sad, shitty ass life.
Did back then. And then you look at the form of them. You look at Danny Crispy's background, Tony Birdshit's background, and Humbles' background. And they're putting Decker Heggy's mum's windows out because Decker Heggy's got N.
Good question. How did I originally fall out with Paddy Conroy? To be honest, I never actually fell out with him. He fell out with us because he announced he was going to Decker Heggy's podcast. And I said, because I thought he was all right at this point. I hadn't been following all the Facebook shit and everything, going back to like 2020 or something. I hadn't been following the Facebook stuff. I didn't know about him putting Stephen Sayers in court. I didn't know about the statements. I didn't know about any of that. I just thought you had the Sayers family, who I respect, and you had Paddy Conroy, who I respected for different reasons, because I did think he was an old school villain. I thought he was funny. I liked his character, but I was laughing at it more. You know what I mean? It was more of a laughing character rather than a respectful character for me. And he said that I emailed him. I've never emailed him once. He couldn't give you my email address. Nobody will get my email address. Anyway, I did leave messages for him when he came onto our channel after he was going to go into the Wheezy podcast, and I said to him, do not go into Decker Heggy's podcast. You're going to regret it. And sure as fuck, 6 months later, I've had all that shit about me, Decker Heggy, it's all rubbish. All right, that's fine then. And that was it, basically. There was no hatred. There's no what Paddy's trying to put out there. I was respectful, because I did find him a funny character, and I did like to laugh at him. But I thought to myself, I didn't want to see his character being ruined going on to Deca Heggie podcast, and then learning the hard way, if you know what I mean. So I just said, right, and we offered him room for cupcakes and shit. That was like, it was pathetic. You know, it was like funny. There was no emails. So that was fine. Then he went on to the Deca Heggie podcast, and then the woman, i.e. Rhonda, who's friends with Paddy, who charges his batteries for his laptop, who lives very close to him, she was seeing Deca Heggie, and Rhonda learnt a very hard lesson. She learnt the hard way. It was alleged that Deca Heggie had a gun to her head. It was alleged that he done this, he done that. Rhonda recorded his Sarah's Law. Deca Heggie told Rhonda to do a Sarah's Law on him. Deca Heggie's mum tried to prime Rhonda up, and then the recording went out between Deca and his mum. Rhonda put a recording out of the police. Then it was alleged Deca put a gun to her head or her neck or something. Rhonda went and done a lie detector test and passed on it. Deca Heggie wouldn't take the challenge up. And then Paddy made a video telling me, i.e. myself and Donna, humble dryer, to go and take a good Christmas, have a good holiday, because what you said were fucking right. That was his exact words. He was in the car when he made the video. But, you know, the damage had been done then. But at that point, he then had Tony Birdshit in his shed. And Tony Birdshit had a spanner on in Paddy's channel at the time. Then something came out about Tony Burkett. Now, Paddy at this point has made him child protection. Paddy made Tony Birdshit child protection unit. And then something came out about Birdshit, which we weren't aware of at the time. And then, well, that's something not right here. And then anybody who asked Tony Birdshit a comment in Paddy's chat was blocked immediately. And that's basically the moral of the story. And then it just grew fucking arms and legs to there. I'd never had any hatred for Paddy Conroy. I'd nothing against him. Like nothing. I wasn't on anybody's side. I was laughing at Paddy Conroy, but I was also listening to the Sayers story as well. I've always respected John Henry Sayers. I always followed his story, but where like the criminal underworld would have been back then. Bearing in mind, John Henry Sayers was retired. He's out the game. He's been at it for a long, long time. But where two levels of criminals would have been, so you get Paddy Conroy there on one level, but in my sense, and knowing people that knew John Henry Sayers from doing time, letting shots and all these type of places. So Paddy Conroy was maybe like second tier. John Henry Sayers was up at tier 10, you know, in respect. I was laughing at Paddy Conroy. No sinister, just laughing because I thought he was taking a fit of the giggles. I thought it was funny. Where John Henry Sayers is very humble guy. He'll speak very little on platforms. You know, get him on these fucking platforms making a pussy himself. Like Stephen Sayers, he's more the kind of media man, but he can took the media side of things and on to Sean Atwood, James English, etc. Where I don't think John Henry Sayers has done one single podcast, and it's people that speak the less, you know, that I respect the most, if that makes sense. I think anybody can understand that. So yeah, that's the reason why myself and Paddy had a disagreement at the time, because I was trying to tell him, don't go on the Deca Heggie podcast. You've got to lose any respect you have, because you know that there's a lot of fucking naughty things here that's got to come out about him, and he just shot us down for trying to talk to him. And that's the truth of the matter. I've no reason to lie about it. If I thought he was a shitty arse right at the beginning, I'd have just went in him straight at the beginning. But honestly, I thought he was a character. But I didn't realise just how fucking bad a character he actually was until all this stuff started to enroll. And the reason I've turned on him properly And when I say turn on him properly, I'm hell bent on making sure everybody sees him for what he is before I leave YouTube. It's because I know regarding the Viv Graham murder, the Sayers family is not lying. Just the exact same reason I knew the victims weren't lying about Decca Hagee. I'm sticking to my guns. Nobody's paying me. Nobody's asking me to do anything. I'm just sticking to my guns because it's right. It's not because if you want to be a gang and follow the sheep, or you'll jump onto the other ones, like Conroy's boys, up the boys. You would jump, but even they have to respect me. At the end of the day, I will not be moved because I know who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth regarding the Viv Graham murder. And that's kind of the be all and end all of the story.
NFAs. What have they got like? Do you know what I mean? When you look at their background, who's doing it, the double standards and what was going on. Hey man, it was a disgrace, and I've always wondered, why the fuck did they even put themselves out to do that to somebody when they've got backgrounds like they have got themselves? And that's it, I'm not just saying it, I'm telling the truth, anybody can dispute it.
Well, come here, the first fella, was it not Danny Christie, was he getting paid to attack the Decca?
Listen, he fell out with Decca anyway. That's what Humbles does. If anybody falls out with Decca, he'll move in and back them with money. And, do you know what I mean?
He never
Danny Christie already with Decca Hagee, but then Humbles moved in and promoted him. That's when he got nicked in that after Humbles moved in and pushed him into things. That's why Humbles had to buy Danny's Benz a Christmas presents when he was in jail because he fucking hell put him in fucking jail.
Yeah. That's a low point in Danny Christie's life, isn't it? Going to jail, having this fucker have to look after. That's a low point, isn't it?
But I'm just finding the double standard to them that's staying at the Hagee. They've got their own backgrounds.
I think Danny Christie owes Decca that fight anyhow for what he's done to him. He owes him.
On the bare knuckle left, I think it'd be a big fight for both of them. I think it'd be their biggest payday.
No doubt about it, sure.
If Danny Christie had any sense, he'd be fucking getting on to Dave Letterman himself.
They could do it themselves. They'd make so much more money. They did it properly in a private gym. Fucking 2 lads with each, just private, and get the camera work and promote the fucking thing for 6 weeks. Training, UFC embedded episodes, do it all proper.
Get a good earner out of it. But if they've done it in the bare knuckle FC, they get proper money.
I suppose. No, I think they're going to get more promotion out of it. They'd fuck them about with the wages. They give them 25 grand each or something. I'm telling you, BKFC would fuck them out. I'm telling you. But then,
listen, all of the bare knuckle FC fighters, none of them have got the background on social media like them two. None of them have got any of that with all of their fighting list. No, I think it'd be a big fight. Draw big numbers.
Yeah, massive numbers. Decca would look nothing better because that would be the finish to a story. Like Decca, I know Decca jokes about Netflix documentary. Like you would if he got that BKFC fight right, and he went in against his arch nemesis that this all started about a fit Decca, and he managed to fucking beat snot out of Danny Christie. Like shut him. Yeah, I would give Decca a fucking Netflix then, I would. I'd give him the Netflix.
You Taylor a Netflix just for the trolling that he's been through.
But he needs a finish. He needs a finish, and the finish would be to fucking poke Danny Christie to the fire. It would be brilliant. It'd be a magical finish, but the only problem is I'm going to fucking batter Danny before Decca, so unfortunately for Decca, he'd be a weak and Danny, but it's not.
So anyway, guys, there you go. That's the kind of final say so on the night. Paddy Conroy thinks Decca deserves a Netflix documentary after all the trolling he's been through. And I'm going to leave that on the final word of it tonight. So that remains in your head, because if I carry on, that wee thought will be lost. At the end of the day, Wednesday 9:30, Donna's going live, I think she's saying here. Remember to tune in, guys. Loch Lomond Pirate, Heggie would never get on the BKFC because they would know what his fucking bampot all hearing the voices is triggering me. It is what it is. That's what it is. So anyway, guys, got lovies and leavies. 85 had tuned in there between the two channels at this time of night. And I said I wouldn't be in it any longer than an hour. And it went an hour and 5 minutes. I'm just got to leave that with you. And I just wanted to point that out, Bill. Wave at the Flying Scotsman, Bill. Aye. Pick up the dog shit, Bill. Aye. Good night, guys. See you all later. Tomorrow, probably. Good night. See you later, Patrick.